Well, hello and good morning, good afternoon. As I promised, a video on, I gotta watch myself so I don't blot myself out, the M41 Walker Bulldog tank. Let me go back a little bit with this. This one happens to be a 21st century toy version, which is not made anymore, with a 76 millimeter gun. And there's a lot of parts I have to show on this. When I initially got this, it had a World War II tank figure. I changed it with a modern, kind of Viet Nam to current day tank figure with a modern helmet, glasses, and stuff. This tank is a light tank. Essentially, it's called a light tank reconnaissance vehicle. It's built by Cadillac. Looking at some notes here that I put. All welded steel construction. There is some cast construction. The 6-cylinder Lycoming and/or Continental 6-cylinder engine of 500 horsepower. It uses the M32 high velocity 76 millimeter gun, rifle barrel. Uses HE rounds, high explosive AP armor piercing, and CHAVP, which is high velocity armor piercing. 60 rounds of ammo were carried, and it also has a 50 caliber Browning machine gun. Essentially used as an anti-aircraft weapon in World War II, but also set up here for crowd control in front of the tank. Okay. These were not used a lot by the United States. These tanks, as you see them, let me move the turret on there. I'm going to give you a look at the inside of this tank, too. It's very highly detailed. One of the very few that 21st century toys had. You'll see the gun. I'm going to take a turret off so you can actually see the gun. Commander is riding on a gun. It had a crew of 3, a loader, commander, and then you had a driver. There's only a 3-man crew in this tank. Kind of noisy, but relatively quick and powerful. As far as usage, it was used by the United States Army as a light recon attack vehicle. It wasn't really air mobile because of the size and stuff. So it was used basically for reconnaissance, for going after light NVA targets. These did go up against and defeated T-54, T-55 tanks when the South Vietnamese Army used them to replace the M24 Chaffees that they had. I'm trying to see, where was this thing used? I wrote down a few notes. Here we go. It was used in the relief of the Pli My Special Forces camp in Laos. It was used in the Buddhist uprising in Da Nang, and I've seen pictures of that, where they were sent in to kind of ease crowd control and push out elements that were not good. And it was used in Operation Land Sun 719 in Laos. I didn't go and check each of these in detail because it would have took too much time out of the video. But that's where these vehicles were used. And if you would like to look them up, if you have interest, you can get more information. Maybe we can do another video that puts a little bit more emphasis. But now I just wanted to let you see this tank, let you see something from another manufacturer besides Kobe, and check the detail out. I'm going to pull the Commander out so I can take it apart a little bit. From World War II, tank crews had body armor on them, helmets, like Viet Nam through current day. A little bit of change technology stuff, but basically same kind of a setup. Now I'm going to take the turret off of this tank so you can see the inside of it. This is one you can actually see, and you can see how cramped this thing is. Here's the actual turret. You can see the turret basket. You can see where the commander and the loader would sit. These seats up here, in the back. And if you look inside, here, that thing moving inside is actually the gun. You can see the breech in the gun where they load the shells. Let me try if I can get this there. And it moves around quite a bit. From the inside, on the top, you can see down. You can see you can a little bit. But this is how the turret is. And this is a turret basket. On the bottom, you see where shells could be placed. I would say these are stone in the floor, wet stowage type of shells, I would say. based upon other things I've seen, World War II related stuff. Oops. And a fuel tank just came up. Parts of this will come apart because of the way this thing is. It's 1/18 scale, so it's more highly detailed. I got both hatches up. I'm not going to slam the commander's hatch down too hard because this thing up here is not in a good shape, and I don't want it to break off because these do have some kind of collectible value. That's why I've kept them, even though they don't make them anymore. And here's the actual tank itself. It is not a heavenly space to be in. I'm going to show you the driver's spot. The little seat way up here. That's where the driver's sat. So you don't have a lot of room. You can see the firewall for where the engine is in back. And I'm going to take you to the back and show you the engine. This is why I kept this tank, because most of these models that they had were very nice, kind of frail compared to like Kobe stuff. This is the engine interior. That is actually a Continental 6-cylinder. You can see all the important parts of the inside. I'm trying to do this so you can see it pretty good. And that's basically the layout of the engine, which takes up less than half the space of the tank. I'm going to close these doors up. I think I paid $30 for this at Toys R Us. That's how old this thing is when I got it. I think if you try to buy one now in a box that was unopened, you'd be paying $200 maybe. I don't know. It is plastic. It's not as durable as the Kobe bricks, where you could go ahead and replace them, but make something look good. Oh, another surprise in here. These little storage areas. What do we see in there? An M16 rifle. Isn't that cool? Oh, there's more stowage on this side. Let's open them all up and see. Give you a look-see at that one. And I've been on top of a real one of these at a museum. They're not that big. I mean, they're pretty user-friendly. They're easy to get up on. There you go. And those are all the storage bins that are on the side. They were welded shut on the one I jumped up on, so I wasn't able to go in and play with them and stuff. But let me put this turret back on, so I don't want to damage this tank. This is a very key collectible tank. I will show you another video of tanks in Vietnam, which is basically the M24 Shaft, the M41, and the T55, all Kobe's, so I could do a little bit more explanation and stuff, and a little bit more looking. But yeah, this is a 21st century toy, 1/18 scale, M41 Walker Bulldog. And like I said, these were sent into Vietnam. They used quite a bit of these, but they were not used quite a bit by the United States Army. Though we did have them, they prefer the M48 Patton tank. And I have one of those, and this weekend I will find it, and I will bring it up, and I will make a video on it because it does relate to my theme of Vietnam. So going back to here, how did these succeed in Vietnam? Well, being that most of your Vietnamese soldiers have a shorter stature, they actually could fit better in this tank, and they actually adapted to training and did pretty well with these. And like I said, they would use these against T-55s, T-54s, PT-76 tanks. The PT-76 tank was probably the most matched opponent, but to go after the T-54 and T-55 and take them out, the gun's a good gun. And some countries in South America still use this. They upgunned it to 105 millimeters, 90 millimeters. They would bore this one up to 90, or put a 105 millimeter gun in. It's a good tank. I mean, you could update it. It's kind of obsolete, but I mean, in an urban kind of an area where you need something that can go in quick and fight, and you have drones now, you could probably modify this thing so that drones wouldn't mess it up and be an effective urban fighting vehicle. But during the Vietnam War, it was essential because they needed some kind of armor that could go through the jungle areas. There was some success with the Chaffee tank when the French were in Vietnam, but this tank is a much better tank. A better gun sight, better system. Let me show you the bottom of it. Oh, I think there's also, yes there is. If you look here, I hate this. Sorry about this. There is a hatch in the bottom. It's escape hatch for the driver and for the loader, and I guess the commander. The commander usually jump out the top hatch, and the loader probably would have too in that case. But they all can kind of slide out and just kind of slide the way out. And yes, that was welded shut. I went to a place called Cantini. It's in Lombard, I believe, or Wheaton. It's a first infantry division museum, and they have tanks there. And I tried to crawl under this one because I know I was going to do a video on this, and everything was like welded. I think it wouldn't be a bad tank to fit in. Like I said, I climbed up on it, I looked at it and stuff. I mean, fit wise, I'm 6'1". I probably could have fit inside one of these, and I'm sure a lot of other people. But like, if you get a smaller stature person, South Americans, Vietnamese, they love this tank. And like I said, some countries in South America still use the M41. The M41 is replaced by the Sheridan, the M551, I believe it was called, with 152 millimeters smooth bore gun that could shoot the Shillelagh missile. That tank was made out of a lot of aluminum. It's an odd tank. They actually had one of those too at the Catini Museum. I guess it was somewhat mobile and able to go in water. I'm not sure, but there you have it. The only thing I didn't go over with this was the thickness of the armor. I didn't really see a lot. I'd probably say like 50 millimeters, maybe 60 millimeters, being it was a light tank. It's not made to go and do like World War II style tank to tank. And Vietnam was not a conventional battlefield, so you insert something like the Walker Bulldog in there with good sighting, a good engine, and a really good gun actually that could take out way bigger tanks in a jungle-like environment. This is a killer of a vehicle. So that's why it was there. But like I said, the U.S. liked the M48 patent, and I do have a video on coming up in that one. I'll find that one. It's a Marine Corps version made by the same company, 21st Century Toys, and give you a little bit more insight. You can see basically what was the top of the line of U.S. tanks at the time of the Vietnam War. Once again, the M41 Walker Bulldog. Hopefully you didn't get bored with this. Hopefully I gave you some good information. I do have a video coming up this weekend on the Little Bird called the KUs during Vietnam, but we'll go with that one, and you'll get to see another interesting. That will be a blue box 1/18 scale vehicle, not a 21st century toy. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this. Let me give you one last look of the vehicle itself. I don't know if I'll be doing more videos with this. I think I'm going to put this in a collectible plastic bin and cover it up in cloth towels and stuff, and kind of leave it so it doesn't collect dust and stuff. I cleaned the heck out of this one for this video, and actually looks really good. It should stay clean, so it'll go in a storage thing. But before it gets stowed away, everybody gets to see it. And if you're interested in these yourselves, like I said, Amazon, eBay, but they are pricey. But they are nice. They're not a kid's toy. They're something you could take, look at, fiddle with a little bit. But you want to have it in a place where you're not going to get dust and dirt on it so that it messes it up and makes it look like it's actually in battle. That'll be it for this video, and I will have another video coming on the Little Bird KUs, and that will be this weekend also. Enjoy the day. Hopefully the weather's good where you're at. It's good here. I'm going to the gym later, and I will have another video, and I am still working on the Huey. Thank you. Enjoy the day and the weekend, and we'll see you soon.